There are a lot of flashy fight scenes or beautiful ennui-infused moments of melancholy throughout Cowboy Bebop that are often cited as personal favorites. And while I love all of that, there's one extended scene from early on in the film that I utterly adore. Shortly after a car bomb rips through traffic and releases an unknown biological weapon upon a section of the capital city, Spike decides to jump in on the chase for the massive bounty of those responsible. With not much to go on besides Faye's eyewitness account and the nature of the bomb, he leaves the Bebop the chase leads around the Mars Metropolis. In this world, many of the places we visit are not where the wealthy reside. In a universe where Earth has been rendered largely inhospitable, humanity has carried on in very different ways, but also very familiar. Yes, part of this is the retro-futurism aesthetic that bathes in the space western subgenre, that is so thoroughly melded with the filmic influences. All of that is present, but there is a truth to the persistence of corporate greed and wealth disparity into the far-flung future. While much of the anime focuses on this aspect with sharp, if often indirect, criticism, some episodes lean into the warmth and liveliness between working-class people and the communities they inhabit. No instance does this better than this. Spike begins his investigation in the section of the city that is distinctly influenced by American culture, in particular New York City. This is reflected not only in the architecture, but in the people that share the streets with Spike. NYC is one of the most diverse places within the US, and it is only natural to include such. While Spike wanders this portion of the city, he bumps into all sorts of people, and even the ones who aren't so friendly are still endearing. This is a place of the working class. People in their lives are succinctly portrayed with a powerful combination of animation and sound design. From all the random passerby, graffiti tags, street vendors, and rumbling car engines. The wear and tear on every surface reflects a space so thoroughly lived in, but not given the attention it deserves by those most responsible for it. Backing it all is a working class country song by the Seatbelts entitled Digging, in which the vocalist expressly discusses inherited labor. As the tune fades and Spike wanders into a different part of town, the jovial man named Rashid offers Spike a light and a tour. The song entitled Musawe, I'm going to apologize for every bit of pronunciation here. I did look up how to say things, but you can only get so far with the internet. This song is composed by the Seatbelts and sung by guest vocalist Hassan Bomide. Reddit user Bin Batata offers this translation, calling it a type of Moroccan music that focuses on wali, or rather a form of saint in Islamic belief. While the wali here, Baba Muska, is fictional, the upbeat tempo and repeated phrase that translates roughly to say hello reflects Rashid's position within his community. It's important to note that in an interview on CowboyBebop.com, Shinichiro Watanabe stated that he wanted the movie to not only show the continued influence from New York and Hong Kong, but a culture he was unfamiliar with. He and the staff took a research trip to Morocco. Rashid is based on their tour guide, and for a brief moment, you can see through the eyes of those that brought Cowboy Bebop to life. Rashid is someone who is seemingly known and loved by all. I imagine this is what Watanabe and his team saw when they traveled to Morocco. They portray this portion of the city with the same warmth they would any other. Even when the music shifts to the solemn track No Money, there is only a deep sense of empathy. I paid a lot of attention to skin color, also to using multiple languages. Lots of times when you watch anime, the characters all have white skin. All the characters in fantasy stories all have white skin, which I never liked. I wanted to have lots of characters in Bebop without white skin. And if people weren't used to that, well, maybe even it would make them think a little bit about it. Listen, obviously I can read out quotes from Watanabe and the rest of the Bebop staff where they insist diversity is important. I can point to their body of work and how they continued this mindset onto this very day. I know there is criticism around aspects of that representation in both the series and this very film. From what little I can dig of analysis of Bebop from a Muslim perspective, which there is sadly very, very little, the film still makes some mistakes with the Arabic text in the background of some scenes. All I'm in the position of saying is, I wish there was more. I wish there was more criticism, I wish there was more anime that took this approach. While Bebop the anime has been poured over from top to bottom from many different perspectives and often the recipient of praise, from my limited point of view, I only feel comfortable to tell you to go seek out analysis of how it portrays race and gender, and that your mileage may vary. What I can say is I admire the intentions. These 5 minutes leave me with the desire to go out and wander a city, to briefly intersect with the lives of so many different people. Despite the film's high-stakes plot of the Bebop crew needing to save the planet from a problem created by corporate greed, there is deep and intimate focus on what is being saved, what is worth saving. The people that are at the heart of it all, the individuals who build up to a collective of lives that form the intermingled communities, that in turn breathe life into the city. Since you've made it to the end of this video, I'm going to assume that you enjoyed it maybe enough to consider donating to my Patreon or my Ko-fi. That's how you say that, right? It's not Ko-fi? I'm just gonna go with coffee. Also, it would be appreciated if anyone out there who does know of some good writing on the Bebop anime or even just the live action in regards to the broad subjects I was talking about in this video, provide some links. That would be cool. Finding that stuff has been made hard by both the existence of the live action kind of becoming the forefront of every search you do for this thing. And if you go on YouTube to try and look up anything in regards to race or gender on Cowboy Bebop, you can imagine the things that turn up. So yeah, thanks for watching this one, and for anyone who has supported me, thank you so much.